Perfect. Whoever just muted themselves, thank you very much. Okay. So tonight I don't have any slides. However, I will be sharing these notes among leaders so you can get them. So you're more than welcome. I always think everybody learns the same way I do, which is probably a mistake. But you're welcome to sit back and actually listen. You can take notes for sure if you want. But a lot of this you're going to actually get your hands on, okay? And I'm actually getting ready to record a Nerium U here soon, and this is my Nerium U. But I feel so strongly about it. I was like, I'm sharing it now. I'm not making these people wait. This applies right now to my people. So the rest of the world can get their hands on it. The rest of the Neora world can get their hands on it in a few weeks. So tonight I want to talk to you guys about how important it is to have strategy on your team as far as teamwork goes and team building. So I'm going to start out with an analogy because that's kind of how my brain works. You all already know this. You know, when you have a baby and you start raising kids, you know, ideally you wouldn't have 20 kids at once, right? You're going to raise a few at a time. You're going to make sure they crawl before they walk. You're going to teach them how to eat, all those sorts of things. So it's a progression state, right? So that's kind of how this works whenever you sign people up. And then eventually in your household, like in my household, my kids are not old. I mean, they're kind of old. They're 8 and 13. So it's teamwork. Everybody kind of has their own chores. Everybody does their own thing, and it makes my house function a lot better. So I'm not raising babies for the rest of my life. And that's the same way your business should be. And if everybody is kind of holding hands, helping each other, then everybody should be making a very nice paycheck and everybody should be growing. But occasionally, my point is here, occasionally, just like with raising kids, you know, you might see a parent that does everything for their kid and you're kind of secretly judging them because you're like, oh, that kid is never going to be able to make it. Kind of the same thing. I've seen leaders sometimes be able to handle everything themselves and they do everybody's job for them, or they do a lot of people's jobs for them. And eventually they just cannot grow. And then eventually they get completely exhausted and then regress. So not only will teamwork, helping each other and helping people be accountable for what they're doing help you now and help everybody's checks now, but it's actually something that's very duplicatable and it will help you grow a massive team. And that's what I did, honestly. And I hate to say it, but it was kind of by accident. It was very organic, and I taught people one by one basically what was working for me, just being a good person and saying, hey, I want you to make the amount of money I'm making, so go do this. And they were, you know, because I was a little more seasoned than them by a couple months. So rather than having to figure it all out on their own, I just kept duplicating myself. So, you know, nobody has time to do everybody else's job for them anyways. So this is all sort of funneling into the idea of mastering the team PC bonus. So just visualize with me for a minute, you know, just really think about what would your team look like in 6 months to 12 months if everybody, okay, let's be realistic. If 40% of your team got PC bonuses every month, whether it was level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4. Once you start to get really good at this and duplicating this, honestly, you know, and I know everybody should at least be making a level 2 team bonus. That, if you don't know what that is, that's a $500 bonus. You have to get 6 PCs and your people, do you have to get 6 or 9? Anyways, your people have to all get 6. You have to have 3 personally sponsored brand partners that all get 6 PCs. I get 9 or more every month, so I don't even know what the minimum is for that. Somebody put it in the notes so everybody can see. So basically, you have to help 3 people, teach 3 people how to get customers until they can get up to 6 PCs. Did somebody just text me? I don't know. Anyways, so that's going to give you a $500 bonus. If all 3 of your personally sponsored only gets 3 PCs a piece, you're going to get, 3 are pre-qualified, you're going to get a $200 bonus. So the way I look at it, just being totally transparent here, it's way too easy to earn that $500. Everybody should be earning that $500. If you're sitting here thinking, well, easy for you to say, Erin, I have 1 brand partner. We'll go get 2. And yes, I just said that. even if it takes you another 3 months, that's your goal right now. It needs to be something that has to be done, whether it's within the next 2 weeks or whether it's within the next 2 months. I have to have 3 people working. Somebody right now might be saying, I do have 3, but guess what? All 3 of them aren't working. Only one of them's working. Well, then you need to go get 2 more. You don't have time to talk somebody into working. It's not a good place to put your energy, and it's like you're a sailboat, and that's going to suck the wind right out of your sail. So we don't want any of that. So we want lots of like-minded heads together working happily and positively. So this is kind of what I call, just for whatever reason, I call this kind of a very fantastic universal building plan for any level brand partner. So if you are a baby brand partner, or if you've been around 12 months but you have a tiny team and you want a big team, this is what you do. If you have a huge team, or what I consider a huge team, which isn't really that huge. If you have 20 people on your team, I think that's a huge team. But you want to go to the next level. In fact, you want to go NMD. This is how you do it. You get a whole bunch of people earning the team PC bonus. So think about your mindset right now with 3-year free. Do you want anybody on your team not 3-year free qualified? Heck no. Why is that? Because we don't want people spending more money, because we're all good people. We want people making money, not spending money, right? So what if you changed your mindset to, I have to have everybody getting a PC bonus, period. Whether it's the 200, 500, 1,000, 2,000, I have to have, I'm like doing all this stuff with my hands like you all can see it. What if you changed your mindset to, everybody on my team has to earn the PC bonus? That's how I'm going to get traction. That's how I'm going to get people to stay. As much as we want to believe if everybody's 3-year free qualified, they won't leave. They might not quit, but they might not ever do anything either. So if your new thought process is get everybody a team PC bonus, myself and everybody else, what are the chances that they're going to stick around and actually work? It's really good chances, in case you didn't know. You all already know that. Couple other good points I want to make. It's duplicatable. It doesn't take an unreasonable amount of effort. Not everybody can go out, I hate to say it, but not everybody can go out and get 3,000 or 4,000 in PSC, right? You know this. Some of you all can. Some of you all are ridiculous. A lot of people can maybe get 1,000 or 1,500. A lot of people can do that. 3,000, somebody works 80 hours a week. It's a little harder, unless you're like, Alyssa Conklin. But anybody can get the team PC bonus. It's not an unreasonable amount of effort. It's very, very reasonable. And it's a goal that anybody can reach. So a lot of money, I'm trying to read my notes and pretend like I'm not reading. That's kind of where we are right now with this. The best part about this, besides the fact that it's duplicatable and all the reasons I mentioned, is that 90% of the work isn't done by the leader. Everybody's carving out their part and doing their part. And so nobody has to take on, a big section of it, like I was talking about earlier. Another good point of this that I'm trying to totally make you all see where my brain is, you don't have to be a superstar recruiter. I didn't tell you to go out and recruit 60 people or 20 people or 10 people. You need 3 people. Now, as that grows and as you get those 3 children acclimated and they start to recruit and they start to teach their people how to get customers, then you build more on your family, right? You have more babies and you teach those babies how to crawl and then walk. But for now, how do you eat an elephant? 1 bite at a time. You find 3 people that all want to get 6 customers or more a month and have them make a significant amount of money, and then teach them how to get the bonuses. So I have on my notes right now, show a slide with the breakdown of 1 through 14 PC bonuses. I don't have that picture yet, but if you don't know about the team bonuses, ask your sponsor or one of the uplines on here and they'll give that to you, or they'll get it for you. So how can we make this happen? So I'm sitting here preaching kind of thing. I'm really just trying to make you see what's going on in my head, because I really want the best for you guys, and I want you to grow as big a team as you want to grow. but there's always how, right? I can tell you what you need to do, where, what everybody needs to be doing on your team, but I also have to teach you how to get there. So the way you get there with this is to, hold on, let me cut my notes up. New customers, customer retention. This is huge. So it is possible to build a bucket of 3,000 in PSC every month if you are smart when you get the initial customers. So when you first get a customer, what is it that you say to them? So they reach out to you and I'm interested in firm, tell me more. You have an exchange going back and forth. That starts happening. And then somehow, some way, you finally get them nailed down. They place the order. Oh my gosh, I just got an order. Amen. Thank you, Jesus, right? Well, are they on auto delivery? What is the situation here? Well, somewhere along the way in the last couple years, I've noticed retention has kind of gone along the wayside. Some of you are retaining customers, but not everybody. Some of you are retaining some, but not all. When I first got started, I didn't have anybody not on auto delivery. I managed to get every single person on auto delivery, and it was because of how I educated them up front. So what did I tell them up front? I told them back then I couldn't use the 10% discount thing. That's always kind of my backup. Honestly, I don't use that first and foremost because to me, 10% doesn't really sound like that much. I concentrate on what I want for them. And what I want for them is to get the absolute best results. Same as you. And I know if you use it 30 days versus 90 days, it's not going to be the same result. So I tell them, just like Mrs. Smith, just like if you went to the dermatologist, they would recommend you use this product for probably 3 months and then come back in so they could reevaluate your skin. I'm going to recommend you use it for 3 months. I want you to get the best results. I really want you to see what's going to happen with this. And they appreciate that. So right away, I planted the seed. It's going to take 90 days. So if they look amazing after 4, 5, 6 weeks, they are so happy they can't stand it. So then I just picked up a win there. If I get them to commit to the 3 months, I'm going to have a customer either 3 months in a row or at least 2 months in a row and then bi-monthly. And the reason I'm saying that is because some of our products do last more than a month. You know this and I know this. Youth Factor, no, duh, that does not last more than a month, right? There's some products that there's absolutely no way. But some products definitely, even Firm, for me, probably last about 6 to 8 weeks, depending on what time of year, how many times I'm putting it on. And I'm very transparent with people and tell them that. I'm like, look, these are the areas I use it. This is about how much I use. This is what happens for me. But, summer's coming. I want you to use it 1 to 2 times a day. If you can make yourself use it 2 times a day, that's better. But being realistic, I realize you're probably not going to use it twice a day. Let's just pretend you're using it twice a day, maybe 3 times a week like I do, and every other day, once a day. So it's going to last about 6 weeks. I don't want you to run out. So what I would like for you to do is use it for the 90 days. So we would get 2 shipments under your belt. So we're going to have one now, and then we're going to probably space the second one out about 5 or 6 weeks. And then we'll reevaluate, and then we'll probably switch to bi-monthly. So the idea here is that I don't want you to ever run out, okay? And I want you to have the option to use it long-term if you should decide to. But I want you to give it the full 90 days to really commit and see what we can do with this. And every time, they say, okay, sure. And there's actually a phrase I thought of instead of, because I don't really like the word auto delivery. It just sort of bothers me. There was a phrase that I wrote down here. Hang on, give me just 1 second. I think I called it, of course I can't find it. Awesome. I think I called it segment. We're going to do like a 6-week segment, then we're going to do a 4-week. And I said interval, I think. There's different words you can use instead of auto shipment. Everybody's been abused and used with auto shipments. So try to stay away from that, but it's not like I'm trying to keep something from them either. that phrase makes people just, ugh. So anyways, so that's what I do first. Well, then when the second shipment comes, guess what? They got a discount. So then I can send them a quick little message and say, hey, unless it's timed odd, sometimes it is. But if they got a shipment, let's say April 1st, their second shipment for the firm or maybe the night cream would come in the middle of May, right? So that's still technically month to month. So the second one, they're going to get the discount, the 10% discount. So I'm going to maybe text them and say, hey, awesome. I'm going to go ahead and make you buy monthly. If I hear otherwise, then we can freeze this account. We can deactivate it, whatever you want to do. But I'm going to check back in at the 90-day mark, and you're not due to get any kind of shipment for another 2 months. No worries. However, when June comes and they're not set for a shipment, I'm going to put on my calendar to contact them and say, you actually have a discount right now. Is there anything else you want to try? Because if we don't order this month, the discount goes away. And that's okay, but I just don't want you to not know that. And a lot of times people will say, go ahead and add this or that or whatever. And then all of a sudden I did what we would call an upsell, right? So the 10% discount sort of comes into play with a situation like that at that time. And I'm just giving you guys an example. So my point here is I always try to set up retention right out of the gate. I don't want to call them 3 weeks later and say, hey, surprise, you're getting a shipment in a week from now. I know you didn't even know about that, but is that okay? Or do you want me to cancel it? I want it in their head that they are giving this a 90-day shot regardless. And people like that. They just need to be educated and know what to expect. So a lot of times I think that the 10% discount is overlooked, unfortunately. So in this situation, it's nice that I can kind of interject with that whenever it makes sense to. Something that's monthly, like Youth Factor, when somebody's asking me questions about this, and I tell them how much is in the pack and how long it's going to last, I say, but no worries. Next month, you're going to start getting the discount.
Okay.
Oh, really? What discount? Well, it's the 10% discount. So, of course, they're like, awesome. So we talk about that. So that kind of helps them be okay with the auto shipment. I also like to make sure they know that I'm in charge of their auto shipment. I even tell people, if you feel uncomfortable canceling with me, you can just text me and say, freeze me for a while, deactivate me. I have too much product. I go ahead and let them know in advance how much control they have, because the more control a customer feels, the more comfortable they feel. Just like if you'd signed up for an auto shipment with Proactive, let's say, online, and you weren't actually talking to a rep, you're thinking, oh, Lord, how hard is this going to be to cancel? Am I going to have to call over somewhere in India and hope that they take my word for it and cancel it? I've been there, by the way. I remember one time I had to cancel my Proactive like 4 times before it actually stopped coming. It was ridiculous. So setting it up in the beginning, and you might be thinking, God, Erin, you're talking about retention a long time. Yes, I am. Because this is a great example of working smarter, not harder. You don't want to have to start the beginning of every month looking and searching for X amount of more customers again this month. When ideally, if you hang on to these people for at least 90 days, there's a good chance they're going to stick for a year or more, because they're going to get that great result after 90 days and they're not going to want to leave. So think about that for a second. So you kind of have to remember, like when you raise your kids and you're training your kids different things, you say, do it right the first way. It's a lot easier than having to redo it later. So this is a great example of that. Do it right in the beginning, right out of the gate, and it'll be a whole lot easier to keep people and to add stuff to their shopping cart for the 10% discount and so on and so forth. Now, I will tell you, as a brand partner, now we get discounts, right? I mean, it's an automatic discount. We have a reduced cost for all of our products. So honestly, it should be told, and I would just tell people, listen, I even tell people this, I don't like sales. All I like to do is give options. So I'm going to if it's okay with you, I'm just going to give you all your options and you can figure out what's best for you. And they say, sounds great. So I kind of let them know ahead of time that I'm not doing like an upsell sales pitch. I just want to make sure they know all their options. So I get through all of that. And then of course I say, now there is an option to be a brand partner and you have an infinite discount. So you don't have to wait for the deals to come and make sure you order it monthly or anything like that. You always have a discount. And if you should decide you want to work the business, great. Or you can be what we would call a glorified customer. So you're actually a partner in the company, kind of like a Sam's membership or a Costco membership. You're paying to sort of get in the club. You're paying for discounts. However, when you do that with Sam's and Costco, you get nothing. You just pay like, I think I pay like $120 a year or something. And I don't get a darn thing. I get to walk in and spend more money, and they make me renew it every year. And so this is a lifetime membership. As long as you order here and there, you'll never be purged, and you get to sign up for lifetime discount. So people really like that option too. And you'd be surprised how many people will just go ahead and do that. Some people on here, some of you guys can't pass up a deal. If it's too good of a deal, you're like, well, okay, that's too good of a deal. I don't want to spend more money than I have to. So you kind of have to make sure they do know all their options. Now, if you get down this whole customer retention thing, it would be silly for only you to worry about yourself and retaining customers. So I know I told you guys not to take notes, and you still don't have to take notes, but once you get your hands on these notes, the people that weren't on tonight, or even the people that are on tonight, you should discuss this with them. You should make it a point to make sure when people sign up new customers that they are, taking the appropriate steps right out of the gate. Because once that customer is in the computer and they're set up, going back the next day or week or month and having these types of conversations would be weird. But having these conversations in the very beginning looks like you're just an amazing brand partner that really overly educates the customer and makes sure they know they understand all of their options, right? So very important. Is this making sense to you guys? I mean, I need to look at everybody's faces for a second. Is everybody good? Okay. All right. I feel like I'm chatty Cathy. I'm looking at the clock and I'm like, oh God. But I really feel that strongly about this, because I really do believe that there are ways with everything in life, even this business. This is a residual income business. So we need to be making some money doing nothing, just being honest. Some of these people need to sort of just come in and out of your business each month and, with orders, and you shouldn't have to do a whole lot with them. So each customer, we should be getting, 2 or 3 orders out of minimum, worst case scenario. Okay, so I think I went through some role playing. I don't think I'm going to read that to you all. So when you get these notes, it's going to be me speaking to a customer, and you're going to see what the customer asks me whenever they're inquiring on a product and exactly what I say to them. And I like for you to get this, because some of you know what to say, but sometimes you have a hard time finding your words, or I say about half of what you're saying, Erin. I really liked when you said this or that. So all of that is going to be in here. Let me see. Okay. So another big question. So I just passed all that other stuff because you all are going to get these notes. So another big question that people ask is, how much is it? Whenever you go back and forth in conversation. So something that should always be on the tip of your tongue, always, 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 is, of course, the price, duh, and the shipping amount. But what should follow that is, I actually have a loophole for shipping. And then pause, don't be a blah, 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 and they can't even get a word in. And they'll say, okay, what's your ship hole looping? Well, I just want to make sure you know your options. I hate paying shipping. Everyone probably that gets on the internet and orders stuff regularly hates paying shipping and looks for shipping codes and all that. If you order $150 worth of stuff, you're going to get your shipping free. So if by chance you want multiple products, that's great. If you don't, that's not going to work for you, but at least in the future, if you decide to do a couple products, you're going to at least get the perk of getting your shipping free. And people like that too. So that's a good way to upsell without looking like a jerk, like you're trying to upsell. It's legitimate. I'm helping you, not you're helping me by giving me a bigger order. Okay, so I'm almost done. So let's get into tips for getting new PCs and new brand partners. So the best way to get new PCs, does anybody know? Yes, I know you know, is to have some events, have some parties. Some of you are like, I don't want to have a party. I don't have time to have a party. Well, do you have time to do 20 sit downs? If you want to get 15 to 20 customers a month, ideally, if that sounds pretty reasonable and you would really like that. It's the best way to do it. If you have 2 events a month, that's like probably 3 hours total, an hour and a half for each event. You can stack a bunch of people inside your parties and talk to a whole bunch of people at once. It's a heck of a lot easier than arranging 20 different sit downs. A couple ideas for events right now that I had the other day that it's so funny. Sometimes I'll have an idea and I'll share it and then I'll go, I'm sure you all do this too, by the way. I'll be like, dang, that was a pretty good idea. So you can have a spa party. You're thinking, duh, I already know about that. What if you did a spa party and you invited somebody that's a massage therapist? You called them and you said, hey, Sally, I'm having this spa party for work. Would you like to try to get some business off of it by coming to the party? And, you could even, if you feel like they would say no, surely they wouldn't. You can come to the party and network. I'll give you some free samples and you can do like 5-minute hand massages on people or 5-minute neck massage. And, I might have 10 to 15 people there, but you can hand your card to all of them. You can give them your hours. You can give them your fee schedule, all of that. And, if they are, a go-getter, then they're probably going to say yes. If they're not, you call the next massage therapist. And if you say, well, I don't know any massage therapists, get on Facebook and say, who knows a massage therapist in my area? I have an opportunity for them. I know some people that might want a massage. Truth. So you could have that person at the party. So then that's a piece that you could promote to your spa party. You could also have somebody that does makeup. So if you know anybody that works at the Lancome counter or anybody that's a makeup artist, they can be teaching people how to do one eye. How many people are terrible with eyeshadow and eyeliner? And think about all the pretty cool things that you can see on Pinterest nowadays with makeup and contouring and all that sort of thing. So you could have a makeup artist that comes, maybe somebody that does makeup for weddings, come to your party and make up one eye on everybody so they can see what that looks like. And then that's how they can network because they're handing out their cards and they're infiltrating and, all those people can take a picture of their eye and put it on Facebook and they can get their name out there. Everybody knows somebody getting married, going to prom, having pictures done, whatever, that could utilize a makeup artist. So then you have those 2 things. So then all of a sudden your spa party where people get to come try all of our products, they also get a massage and they also get to learn how to apply, contour or getting one of their eyes done all alongside of having the eye patch on the other side and the eye serum up here. And if you don't do it already, I've told you guys before, but just in case we have new people on tonight, when people come in your event, the first thing you do is, first thing is, hello, how are you, blah, blah, blah. Then you take a picture of them and say, may we put some eye serum and an eye patch on one eye? Yes, you can, of course. So then there's eye patch here, there's eye serum here. So what does that do? Well, after all of that, after the eye patch is taken off 45 minutes later and you take a picture and they see the change, they don't just say, give me the eye serum. They're going to want both, period. It then becomes a dynamic duo that they're not going to just want one or the other. So I used to only do one or the other. And then somebody told me they always do both. And I was like, why don't I do that? Because the eye patch is not going to tighten all this up. And how many people have droopy eyelids? So the eye serum is ideally going to tighten all this up. And then the eye patch, as you know, is going to take care of everything underneath. So it's a good way to have a kind of a big wow factor right at your party or your get together, whatever you want to call it. Okay, the next thing that is kind of a no-brainer that everybody should be doing is a daily Facebook post. So everybody has been super excited, including myself, about everything that's coming. And I've seen a ton of posts, a lot of great posts. But something that is happening, unfortunately, is me included. I admit, I get really excited and I just start posting like crazy. We're not really completely blending. So if this isn't you, I'm sorry. But if it is you, make sure, maybe kind of check your Facebook. Am I doing like the 3-to-1 or 2-to-1? So 2 Neora posts, 1 personal per day. If you only post Neora once, so be it. But make sure you're putting personal stuff on there too. People will block you if they only see Neora, and they won't take you as serious. So you're not, I hate to say it, but you're not just sharing and selling product. You're actually selling yourself too. So, you know, a lot of times when people reach out to me, I try to put a lot of personal stuff on Facebook, like good personal stuff, not like depressing or I hate somebody and I'm not going to say their name crap. But a lot of times when they reach out to me, I won't even know them, but they think they know me because I'm very transparent on Facebook, and that's completely intentional. Otherwise, I would probably be a hermit. I mean, I haven't changed personalities in the business, but I'm definitely much more forthcoming with my personality and with how much I want to put out there to the world on Facebook than I would have been prior to this business. And that is very intentional. I want people to know me. I want people to trust me. I don't put anything fake out there, but I want them to know who they're dealing with. That way, you know, when they want to be a brand partner or they want some firm or whatever, they think of me and they want to deal with me. So kind of think about that. So get the most bang for your buck when you post. Post at optimal times. Again, I'm not saying I'm great at this. Well, yeah, I am great at it, but there's times where I slip. Occasionally, maybe I'll post at 2:00 in the afternoon, but honestly, the best time to post for Facebook users anyways is early morning, like 8-ish, you know, rush hour traffic time or when people first get to work. I think statistics shows people don't work at work until like 9:30. They're on Facebook like the first 90 minutes. So making sure you're in their feed about that time. And you can kind of pre-plan things so you're not sitting there in the morning scratching your head. And then at nighttime, right around, you know, after kids are to bed. For Facebook, with our generations that are on Facebook, I'd say a safe time to assume in your time zone would be between 8:30 and 9:30. So, you know, if you post something at 11 o'clock at night, it's a really good post and I see it, I about cry because I'm like, oh, it's such a good post and nobody's going to see it. And the algorithm on Facebook, it's like a vacuum. If nobody is commenting immediately or liking the post, it's kind of sucks it out of the news feed. And then you think, that's a great post. Nobody even said anything. Nobody see this? No, nobody saw it because you posted it at a not so great time. So kind of think about that. So again, work smarter, not harder. Sharing pictures. The best thing that I did for myself when I got started in this business, and the best thing I do now, is I share a lot of pictures and I talk to people a lot. So it's not that I puke Neora all over people, but the more you talk to a person and the friendlier you are, you'll eventually get the conversation in such a place to where it's appropriate to interject something that would be just like a quick little plug to your business. Sometimes it's so obvious, you're like, is this real life? Somebody will say something like, if you talk to them long enough, you know, oh, we're broke, we need more money, I got to get a different job, I might have to get a second job. And you're like, is this really happening? Is it really this easy? But then other times, you know, it's a little harder. So you have to maybe say something like, we should have coffee one morning. You know, I work for myself, so my schedule's open. And they say, oh, what do you do? And so, you know, it kind of goes from there. So let's see. Okay. If you're posting on Facebook, somebody's picture that you know, I kind of purposefully will do this sometimes. Like the other day, I did a post about all of our physicians, and I contacted a couple of them, and I said, hey, can you please comment? So I'm not saying, please don't contact all the physicians and ask them to comment on your post, because I know how busy they are. So shame on me for doing that. I'm just saying, when you use pictures and you know, oh, this is so-and-so brand partner that lives in Kentucky, or this is so-and-so that lives in Kansas, you can say, this is my friend Erin from Kentucky. She's very happy with her results. And of course you tag me and I comment. So there's nothing stronger than that, a real testimonial. I mean, people strongly rely on testimonials when they shop nowadays. So that really helps. And even better, if you have any PCs that will let you share their pictures, ask them if you can tag them. It's going to show up on their wall and they're going to comment. So super powerful. Again, working smarter, not harder. Last but not least, consider getting involved in networking groups. There's all kinds of different things. You can pay to get in a networking group. You can get in networking groups for free on Facebook. You can get in church groups. You can play in volleyball leagues and silly stuff through church. You can get involved in some way to give back or volunteer. Put yourself out there in situations where you're going to get connected with people. It's not like it was, 15 years ago where you could go do this and this and this, but then the second, that 4-week, whatever it was you're doing is over, you don't see those people ever again, because you can get to know them and then you can friend them on Facebook. And then the likelihood of you ever actually having to tell them about Neora is pretty slim. They're going to see it and they're going to ask you about it. So sometimes I'll get a gentle reminder because I'll add people to my Facebook because it's totally my norm now. As soon as I get to know somebody, I look them up and I friend them. And sometimes out of nowhere, they'll say, so what is this skincare stuff you sell? And I think, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that we hadn't talked about it before. It's what we call a warm market lead. And it's way too easy to do. So you definitely should consider doing it. And that is it, I think. Let me blow this screen up and see if anybody has any questions. Looks like the chat's going. Lori White, level 1, 200, we need 6. Level 2, 500, we need 9. Makes sense. So see, you all know I'm working. I always at least get 9. Select shipping. Rhonda Carver. I don't know what you're talking about. Preferred program. I don't know what that is either. You all can unmute yourself if you want to tell me. Donna, what's that? What are y'all talking about?
It's Rhonda, when you were saying, instead of auto delivery, something you can use in place of saying that, so it doesn't have that, like people react, I don't want to be on that program,
Yes. Preferred program or select customer, so preferred customer, to get the perks and the rewards. Perfect. Okay, perfect. Oh, Donna tried to say something and she couldn't unmute. I wonder why she couldn't unmute. That's weird. Can you unmute now, Donna? Where are you?
The game is on. She says she can't unmute because the game's on loud.
Oh, okay. I thought she was meaning like she couldn't unmute it, like I locked it. I was like, I don't think I did. Well, thank you all for getting on tonight. I hope that was helpful, and you'll know whenever Neora U comes on in a few weeks and you see my face, you'll be like, oh, I've seen this before. Or you'll know if I'm on that week and you like this, you could get your team on. So definitely take what I had to say tonight and don't just utilize it, but try to duplicate it. That will really help you and it will help your team. Does any other leaders have anything they want to say? You want to interject with anything? Anyone? Anybody else have any questions?
Thank you.
You're welcome. I hope it helps.
I had a question about how do you give out the travel night and day cream that's on our NGD this month?
How do you give it out?
Yeah, is it like, do you use it as a
to sample?
Like an incentive or anything?
You can. Because it's not like those are super readily available and we all have tons of them. So, that's not a crazy idea. And I kind of like where your brain is, because anytime you get something that is kind of in high demand, low supply, it's good to utilize it as an incentive within your teams if you feel like it's something that they might want. Or you can incentivize customers. If you order this and this and this, then you'll get this. So it's all about, your brain is shifting over into, if it wasn't there already, into how can I drive the right behaviors out of people. So it's a really good way to think. Anytime I do something, what is it the end result that I'm looking for? I would like to see everybody get the Team PC bonus, right? Because all of you guys would promote and get traction. So it's like I have to back up and say, how can I drive that? Well, I have to break it down and show you why it's so beneficial so you'll be on the same page as me. So then with your customers, putting it out there and saying, you know, flash sale the next 24 hours, first person or first 5 people that get with me are going to get these samples, and taking a really nice snapshot of it. So this sounds terrible, but so it looks bigger than it is.
Yeah.
You know, we've all been there where we buy something that looks awesome and we get it and we open it up and we're like, dang. But, you know, you can say in the verbiage, you know, 1 week supply or something like that. But yeah, that's what I would do. I wouldn't just keep them around for, you know, whenever you go to convention and you want little bottles. That's just me.
Yeah. Okay. Good. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anybody else? I see a lot of new faces. This is exciting.
Erin, I have a question.
Okay.
When you are sampling with the sample program, is there any advantage to doing it one way over another? Like, I mean financially to yourself, sample credits. Is there more of an advantage to buying them and handing them out, sending them through Go Prospect, or going to your Try Neora and you put in your own credit card and order it for them?
I think the biggest thing is, again, back to driving the right behavior. So ideally, we want everybody to get the sample that is inquiring, and we want them to actually use it the way they're supposed to, and then we want them to give us feedback so we have an opportunity to get a sale. So I don't think there's any like super clear-cut right or wrong there. I think the idea is I don't know if Shelly's on here tonight, but Shelly talked one night about gimmies. She talked about that in pharmacy when she was a pharma rep, how you have like the class of people that always want the free stuff. We call them the gimmies. So, you know, we want to try to kind of stay away from those people if we possibly can. And one way to deflect gimmies is to say something along the lines of, I have samples for anybody that would like to participate in Feedback Frenzy that I'm doing. I'm doing a 1-month challenge, and I'm trying to get, 25 samplers who will agree to use product for a week and give me feedback by answering 5 questions. So whether you mail in the sample, whether you drop the sample off, whatever, they're going to get 5 questions from you that are going to be questions that will help you win. So if I'm going to give somebody a 1-week sample of, I don't know, night cream, I'm going to say, one of my first questions is going to be, does the texture of your skin feel differently when you touch it? Well, everybody's does after a week, right? So I know that's going to be a yes. Does your skin feel tight after you put the mask on, and still in the morning, does it feel tighter? Does your skin visibly look different in the morning? Have you noticed when you're washing your face, it looks a little bit different? We've all been there. We all still do it. When we go wash our face, we look at our skin in the morning and we're like, cool, things worked last night. I might say something like, could you tell any of your deeper lines don't look as deep, or your fine lines are going away, like on the outer edge or whatever? I'll word something in favor of a yes. So you want to ask the right questions, right? And you don't want people, you're not going to say, are all your wrinkles gone, right, after 1 week? And I want to set it up too. Before they get the sample, I'm going to be like, look, 1 week sample, I'm hoping we're going to see some kind of result. The minimum result we're going to get, the maximum result we're probably going to get is a texture change. So I'm just letting you know that now. But, there are people that have a more visible result within a week. So that's why we're doing this feedback frenzy. So that's something I came up with a few years ago. So it's to drive the right behaviors, right? Because we don't want people to just gimme, let me take from you, and then they never give you anything back. They at least need to give you back the answers of the questions that you give them. And so then you just need to make up a couple formats of questions that you feel like are win questions for the product whenever you drop it off. So does that make sense, or was that too broad?
That makes all kinds of sense. I just wondered about sample credit for ourselves. Is there a better way to I'm not talking about results for the customer. I'm talking about sample credits. Like, do we get more points or more money or by doing it one way over another?
You know, I don't know. Does anybody know that's on here? Some of my people are so good at figuring out all the loopholes with this stuff. Donna probably knows, but she can't unmute herself. What about you? What about you, Rhonda? I'm in the habit now, honestly. If I need something, I just order it. You know, in the beginning, the first 2 years, I was all about like working the system and trying to figure out how I can stretch every penny. And I'd be lying if I said I still did that. If I needed, I order it. Sorry, that's really bad.
No, I just didn't know.
Yeah.
If one way, if there's an advantage financially, one way over another.
I mean, NGB, I use that. You use NGB though, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Do you get more NGB one way over another? Like if a customer, like if you order.
Well, if the customer's ordering, then yeah, you build up your NGB that way. If the customer orders, your brand partner's ordering. You sign up a brand partner and they get their auto delivery, you get more points.
No, I'm just talking about the sample program.
Oh, I don't know. I'm not sure.
Okay. I'm only talking about the sample program.
Sorry. I wish
okay.
I had all the details on that, but I don't.
Okay.
If anybody else knows the answer to that, unmute yourself. Share, please.
Can you hear me?
Somebody does on here.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
I went to another room. We don't get NGB or credits or make money on any samples. Is that what you mean?
Yes, that's what I mean.
Yeah. If you order samples.
I did not understand that.
Okay. Yeah. If you're ordering samples, you don't get paid on that. You don't get group volume. You don't get NGB points or anything.
Okay.
So figure out
that's what I was asking.
Easiest way
so
for
it doesn't really matter which way we choose to sample.
Correct.
Okay.
I did not get that, obviously.
That's okay.
I totally heard you saying in my brain, I heard you saying like, what do you think the best way is? And I was like, do this. You're like, thank you for answering all the wrong questions.
I don't think.
Sorry. Anybody else have anything? You want to ask me a question and I'll interpret it as a different question entirely? Thank you for smiling and not rolling your eyes at me, you guys. All right. Well, I guess everybody's good. I'm looking through the notes, making sure there was no more questions. Okay, I think we're good. Thank you, guys. Have a great night. Bye.
Thanks, Erin.
You're welcome.